Hey, it's Russ and Lauren, and today is our Sunday vinyl video. And today we have a review of a very divisive record out in the vinyl community, the latest from Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. And this is the Target pressing of it with no allegiance really to anywhere out of on my part, like on this. On the channel, I'm always talking about like, hey, make sure you shop in indie stores and whatever else. And like, we did go to a couple of indie stores around town. I've made no secret about the fact that there's like half of a record store I like in Jacksonville. So we tried and we couldn't find a copy of it around town on release day of a very major artist's release. So we stopped to Target and they had it. And so I picked it up there. Having said that, we don't do a ton of reviews and insights on the actual album, but I will say that I very much like the album. And I think you're not even like a huge Billie Eilish fan, but I think you like everything you've heard off of this record so far.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like for me, the short of it is that I still have never heard her first album. I've heard Bad Guy because it's, everywhere. But I didn't get into her until the second album, which I know is very divisive in the community too. There's a lot of people that don't like the second album. I love the second album. I think it's perfect. And, but I'm one of those people where I don't want the artist to do the same thing again. This record to me sounds like a natural, progression from the second album. And a lot of people have told me that, it sounds like a good mix of the first and second record. And I wouldn't know because I haven't heard the first.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So when we go through this one, this is a unique thing because we have a couple of different things going on with this record. First and foremost, and this kind of affects a couple of different things, is Billy made a big deal out of this being like a heavily recycled, reused, renew type thing, all the way from the packaging to the vinyl itself and everything. So that's going to come into play like a lot through this review. As far as the actual packaging, there's a couple of unique things. One, like I'm always going on about having like outer sleeves and all that stuff. So with this record, it's funny because it comes in an outer sleeve, but just because they didn't want to use cellophane, you know what I mean? So like, that's fine, but you can definitely tell it's like a recycled material. Like it almost feels for anybody that puts, sleeves on your records, it feels like a sleeve that you've had for like 10 years. Like that's the best way I can describe it. Like it feels like a very used record sleeve. I don't care. And it's funny, side note, did you know that we're the only country in the world that uses cellophane on new products?
Yes.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. But I don't really have anything to
cellophane say. and our hatred of the metric system.
Right, yeah.
America.
The thing with it is that Billie Eilish made a thing out of, she went online and was talking about like, and no, not just Taylor Swift, so calm yourself. But she was making a big deal out of every artist. Like Ace Frehley has like literally like 9 variants of his last solo record. I like Kiss. I don't mind Ace Frehley. That is strictly to have Kiss collectors go buy all 9 copies of that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what she was talking about. Like not just Taylor Swift. There's other artists on the planet, believe it or not, besides Taylor Swift. She wasn't talking about just Taylor Swift. She was talking, well, because all the Taylor Swift fans went nuts when Billie Eilish announced variants of this record. They were like, oh, what a hypocrite. No. Like, if you're going to do variants, there should be value adds to it. And second of all, everything is beyond eco packaged and whatnot. So like if you're going to do that, at least do it in the most sustainable way possible. I don't really have a horse in that race. I've exhausted this phrase on the channel before. You don't play the cover. I don't care about the cover at all. I don't care what it's made of. The audio, on the other hand, might be affected by the eco vinyl, and I'm not entirely sure on that. So here's what we'll do as we get into sound. I'm not going to read my note exactly that I wrote, but the sound of this record is bum. I will say bottom.
Okay.
But yeah,
patootie.
It is. Yeah, patootie. Yeah, patootie. It is awful. This could be just the Target exclusive. Sometimes I've heard, even with her first album, there was a whole thing. Actually, I think with Happier Than Ever too. There was a whole thing about some retail pressing sounded better than others. Um, the I will say this though, Mike from the In Groove, which if you don't watch that channel, you absolutely should. Fantastic vinyl channel here on YouTube, and fantastic record store out in Phoenix, Arizona. He lost his mind on the indie record store one, so that's a different pressing of this same LP. And he actually wondered the same thing too, like, is this because of eco vinyl? Is it the mastering? What is it? But if you it's actually, if it's, even if you're like, I'm a huge Billie Eilish fan, and it's still, you should go watch this review because it is hilarious. He just destroys this album for not the music, the mastering and the vinyl pressing, for like 20 minutes, and then at the end he's like, well, anyways, it's available on our website. It's great. But I don't, like, this is the only one I've heard. Now, on the other hand, my son owns the pressing that came directly from her website, and he had it before I had it, and he said it sounds great. So I don't know if it must not be a mastering thing, then it must be just different sources where maybe even where it was pressed. But for our part, what we're reviewing here today is the Target exclusive pressing. If I was to rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best sound, negative 14 is where I would put the sound on the vinyl pressing from Target. It is absolutely terrible. Price, we paid around $30 for it. I think it was like either $24.99 or $29.99 or something. Let's say it was $29.99. That's precisely $29.99 more than it should have cost. This is terrible. Like, this is a terrible pressing, and it bums me out because it's a great album. Like, I will never listen to that record ever again. Like, when we listen to this album, we will absolutely be streaming it. And that, I mean, that's a whole different argument about, like, well, how much better does vinyl really sound than streaming or whatever else? But like, if we have it on vinyl, I prefer to spin it on vinyl for a number of reasons. But I will never be spinning this record ever again. So, which brings us to value. And my note for value is none. There is none. I don't, like, if you go back, like, if you never know what videos are going to take off. If this happens to, like, get shared in some Billie Eilish community and a bunch of people take it wrong and they go, oh, these two old people sat around. Well, one old guy and his wife sat around, we're just crapping on Billie. I'm not in any way crapping on Billie. Like, right. I love Billie Eilish. I went to at least 3 different locations around us trying to get this record.
It's true.
I love the music on the record. I don't have any problem with the eco aspect of it. What I have a problem with is bad mastering, bad audio. And if that is because of the eco vinyl, well, then I do have a problem with eco vinyl. This is garbage, and it makes me angry. And I don't know. The only thing I can say is a couple of things from this video. One, if you haven't yet, do not buy this album. And 2, you got to go see Mike from the In Groove. Just type in In Groove Billie Eilish. I'm certain it'll come up on YouTube. You got to watch that video because it's hilarious. And then the only other thing I would say is, like I said, my son said the copy that came directly from her website sounded great. I will try and get a listen to that myself and see, if maybe I disagree on that. I'm not sure, but for the retail exclusives, no, this is absolutely a no.
Yeah, and I know you were really bummed out about it too.
Yeah, it bums me out a great deal. So usually we have a lot more upbeat videos and we don't try to talk about things we don't like. And I thought for this, though, it would be interesting to at least bring to the conversation, like, hey, we don't know why this is bad, if this is just bad mastering or whatnot. So I wanted to go ahead and do a video on it. And if nothing else, I'm not kidding, that watching the Mike from the In Groove video is hilarious as well. But we usually only do videos on things we enjoy or have more positive things to say about. So this isn't any sort of sensationalism or clickbait. It's just a thing I wanted to share our opinion on with this record. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, because we do have 3 videos every week, and I promise they're always upbeat. Or if we at least find some silver lining, which I could not with this LP. But if you would please hit the like button. If you're a Billie Eilish fan, please understand, so am I. I wanted this pressing to sound better. If you have one from her, directly from her site, her merch club, or however they sell it, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the audio, because I'd be very interested in finding that out. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.